hundred people. And we are proud of the fact that we have a very high-performing department. That there's lots of people who are doing great work. In fact, that's the mode. So every once in a while we find that we want to acknowledge somebody who's really gone above and beyond that standard of high performance that we expect of everybody. So this award goes back to April 2000, and since then, which is 16 years ago, there's been only 21 people. So there's not a lot. And one of the things I think is really nice, if I read off the degrees, is there's a lot of diversity in people we acknowledge. That of those 21, 6 are MDs, LLI, CSW, BSW, PhD, people with no degree who are administrative leaders, teams. So we believe that in order for the department to be successful, there has to be high-level contributions from every level, and that we value every level of people in the department. It's not just the MDs. We value the people who are our support staff, who are administrative leaders, who are MAs working in this. And so one of the other reasons I'm really happy about being able to present the award to you now is that you came over from Gateway. You're still Gateway?
She's still Gateway.
Still Gateway.
We're all Gateway. We are all Gateway, right? We are and we are. But that's one of, so this, when I heard about this possibility, I said, this is really nice in a number of ways, including it shows how much we're embracing Gateway as part of our system. That this is the Department of Psychiatry Award of Excellence. It's going to somebody from Gateway, because the kind of contributions you've made, the way you've been integrated, the kind of leadership you've provided. So that's, I think, another really nice feature of this. So I'm going to let, this gets displayed up on the 9th floor. People walk by and see it. It's a really nice thing. And I'm going to let Chris say some more specific things.
Thanks. So I really just did this so I could torture Kristy.
It's not supposed to be a roast.
That's what we do in the team.
That's our way of communicating.
That's how we do things. But I did, I was working with Kristy one morning about a month ago, and it was busy, and we had whatever, the usual stuff was going on, but there was a patient who, it would have been very easy, I think, to see this patient, someone we know. She knew, quite frankly, a lot better than I did, because she has these patients dialed in. And it would have been easy to assume this person should go, or this person should be admitted, whatever it was. But she saw this patient and saw that something different should happen, which I thought was like pretty special, because if you've been working there for a while, you know how easy it is to get into another state of mind about these patients that we see so often. Kristy's not perfect, I'll have to talk to Beth later. But it occurred to me, she was sitting there and I kind of had like an epiphany, like this is a person that deserves this award. And we've been working together for a while. She's been there the longest current Gateway member of the DPOD team. So, I thought about it, and then I wrote Rich an email, which I'll just read. I'll take out some of the superlatives.
Come on, throw me a bone.
So I'd like to nominate Kristy Moles, Gateway clinician, the PS, for the department's Award of Excellence. Longest standing member of the Gateway service. This is in itself a reason to be nominated for the award. Kidding aside, she rises to the occasion when the service is under pressure, possesses phenomenal clinical skills. Her judgment's sound and well-founded, and not subject to influence by convenience. Share her opinions sought by more thoroughly trained individuals. She thinks steps ahead when assessing a patient, and her knowledge of the mental health care system in Rhode Island is comprehensive. Certainly there's other things. We don't have many psychiatrists here, but any psychiatrist in the system can definitely thank Kristy for the work that she puts in on the front end, fleshing out a patient's history of present illness, past illness, social history, substance abuse history, and she continues to find ways to improve our information gathering and our diagnostic skills by understanding these patients better. So recently she noticed a problem in Epic by which we were not capturing a lot of data about substance abuse, and she quickly whipped up a form, and we have it implemented now, and it's part of our evaluation. But it was a big gap that she noticed, identified, and rectified. Probably, I think one of her other contribution, which we should all appreciate, is her training of other clinicians that come to the DPOD. And so she's got this cool thing. It's very simple and very effective. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these Mad Libs from back, like if you're a kid in the 70s or maybe the 80s, but there are these books, and like, so it would tell a story, and it would have blank spaces where you put in the name of your friend, the name of your dog, and when you read this thing, it was ridiculous and funny, made no sense, but she made one for a psychiatric evaluation. And so if you're on the phone with a clinician in the middle of the night and they're giving you a particularly good presentation, it's probably because they've used Kristy's Mad Lib style of presentation to get all of the information into the chart. So I think that's about it. You know, what else? I don't know. Well, it's been a pleasure to work with Kristy for the last 8 years, most of the time. But we're very lucky to have you on the service, and hope that you continue to be a part of the service. And congratulations. So we have a couple things here for you. Certificate of Excellence that you can display on the wall down in the DPOD. And a gift.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. I do have some things to say, because this is a pretty big deal for me. Did I give them to you?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Index cards too.
We communicate the same. Okay. Hi. All right. Public speaking is super hard for me, so. When I moved to Rhode Island from Northern New York in 2001, I was 22 and had no idea what community mental health was, and certainly did not want to go into it as a career. Yes, I had my degree in psychology, but I also had one in studio art. When I got to Rhode Island, I planned to get a job using my psych degree to fund my art dreams, maybe go to RISD. So I set out on a quest for a job in mental health, any job at all. So I applied for dozens or so jobs without a single offer for an interview. The reason I was told was I was too green. I was running out of money and was certainly not going to move back to my parents' home in Northern New York. In desperation, I looked in the yellow pages, for those of you who remember what those are, and saw the logo for Gateway. My heart sank a little because I knew I had applied there and they told me I had no experience. I called anyway. I spoke to HR. For those of you who remember, Patty Ianieri was this person. I talked to her, and I all but begged for an opportunity for just an interview. She chuckled. She told me she liked my spunk and would give me a chance. The very next week, I was sitting around a small table with Trish Bauer and David Boscia and Patty Ioneri, who's at a different place, job, who, in probably a momentary lack of sanity, decided to give me a shot as a case manager on the mobile treatment team. I quickly learned why they don't hire green folks for these jobs. It was intense and overwhelming at first, but I loved it. David and Trish were the best teachers I've ever had, and are a big reason why I do this work and that I do it for Gateway. After a few months on the mobile treatment team, I realized I was hooked and started grad school. Since then, I've moved around in other places. I've worked in almost every setting you can work for in community mental health. Through it all, I found I loved emergency services the best. In 2008, I was living back in Watertown, New York, working in a county correctional facility as well as the local ER. I received a call from my old friend and mentor, David, who let me know there was a new program starting in the ER at Rhode Island Hospital, and there would be an emergency service position available. I was so excited. This was my dream job. Hard to believe, but it is. A safe, secure, entire pod of an ER for just psych, an attending that was always available to discuss cases and not just available maybe on the phone with a nasty comment. A team of coworkers to support and learn from. It was amazing. I packed up and moved back to Little Rhodey. I interviewed with Kyle and a former supervisor and started on November 3rd, 2008, still here. Despite the stressful times, this still remains my dream job. I would like to thank my mentors and teachers, Trish and David, my supervisors, Beth and Kyle, and the whole DPOD team from Gateway and the ER. Forgot my place. Oh, your support means everything to me. Now it seems like it means nothing, but it does mean everything. Sorry, don't have to give speeches again. I also need to thank Dr. Markovic. Thank you so much for nominating me for this award. It is truly an honor. Thank you for being a great teacher. I have to swallow. A supportive director, and a seriously funny human being. I would not still be in this job without your support over the past 8 years.
Saved by the bell.
One more thing. Don't try to get out. All right. In closing, I just want to say that the experience of being part of a combined team at Lifespan and Gateway here at Rhode Island Hospital has been amazing for me. We are in a space where we can care for people during some of their scariest moments and help them take a step in a positive direction, a healing direction. This kind of work cannot be done unless there is a solid support behind it. So thank you to the leadership of both Lifespan and Gateway for providing us with this unique place.